Hi, I'm Bess.
And I'm Raphael.
And we are Two Peas in a Kitchen.
In today's video, we're going to show you how to make these super easy homemade seasoned croutons with leftover bread.
As always, we will share time-saving tips and tricks to help home cooks make easy, elegant eats.
If this sounds like exactly what you need, hit that subscribe button and join us in the fun. So the ingredients are actually quite simple. So we have about 12 ounces of a leftover bread. So in this case, we're actually using our cheddar jalapeno bread, which we'll link to our description in the video. This is delicious. These make amazing croutons. And then we're going to add into this big bowl, we're just going to mix everything together. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. We always love California Olive Ranch, or just use your favorite extra virgin olive oil. Then we have 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder or garlic granules. We prefer the garlic granules. We think they have a little bit more flavor. And then 1/2 teaspoon of coarse kosher salt and 1/2 teaspoon of ground pepper. Bess is going to show you how to mix all these ingredients and how to bake them now.
Okay, so right before you get ready to mix all of our ingredients together for the croutons, go ahead over to your oven and preheat it at 375 degrees. And then we will keep going with this recipe. So one of the things that we talked about in our bread recipes that we've done is how buying store-bought bread is not the healthiest choice. So we like to use our own home-baked bread to make these croutons. And because our home-baked bread does not have preservatives in it, if you don't use it quickly, it then becomes perfect to use for croutons. The bread doesn't have to be perfectly fresh to make these croutons. So I'm going to put this is actually a 1/2 loaf of our jalapeno cheddar bread, and a 1/2 loaf of our country bread recipe would also work really well for this. It's approximately 12 ounces of bread. I weighed it on the kitchen scale, but it can be approximate. This isn't one of those recipes where everything has to be perfect. I'm going to add now on top of the bread a 1/4 cup, just drizzled over the bread, of good quality extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in our Italian seasoning and our garlic. We use garlic granules here, but you could use garlic powder. This is our coarse salt. And lastly, we have our freshly ground black pepper. So the easiest way to do this is actually with your hands. I've washed my hands because you really want to make sure that all of the olive oil, that's in there is getting absorbed by the bread. So it requires a little bit of kind of mixing and settling it in at the bottom a little bit where some of that olive oil settles. Gosh, I'm losing croutons everywhere here. And you can see, oh, these smell really good. I can smell not only the garlic granules, but the jalapeno from the bread that I'm using to make these croutons. So they're done when you can see that all of the pieces of the croutons have absorbed some of the olive oil and that the seasoning is evenly distributed throughout the bread. And that's really all there is to it. And now we're going to show you how to bake these. You will never have to buy croutons again. Okay, so now our croutons have soaked in all of that delicious olive oil and seasonings, and we're going to take some unbleached parchment paper, put that on a cookie sheet, and then we're just going to pour the croutons right onto the cookie sheet. So because you want your croutons to get crispy, you want to just use your hands, clean hands, to quickly flip all the croutons so that one flat side of each of them is touching the sheet pan. And that just helps that one side that's sitting down on the sheet pan get nice and crispy. So these are going to cook in the oven for about 15 minutes. But what we're going to do is after about 7 minutes, we're going to take them out of the oven and we're going to flip them over so that they get crispy on multiple sides. So one of the things that we just wanted to mention about this recipe is our easy peasy tip about this recipe. First of all, the whole recipe is sort of an easy peasy tip because it is so easy to make your own homemade croutons. But one of the things that's really great about this recipe is that you're using up bread that you would otherwise probably be disposing of. We like to use a half of a loaf of our homemade bread, which doesn't last very long, as I mentioned earlier on in the video. But any bread that you have that is just kind of nearing the end of its prime freshness, take that, make croutons. The other thing is that once these are cooked, if you put them in an airtight container, they will last for a few days. So you really are extending the life of your bread. You're saving money. You're not adding a whole bunch of extra preservatives into your diet if you do it with the homemade bread that we have included in other videos.
Okay, so now we're going to put our cookie sheet in a preheated 375-degree oven on the middle rack for 7 minutes.
Okay, so the croutons have now been in the oven, 375 degrees for approximately 7 minutes. And we popped them out and we're just going to flip them over. They're starting to get crispy, some of them more than others, but after the rest of their cooking time, you can hear them. You can hear the crispiness of some of them while I'm flipping them over. Okay, I think I got most of these flipped over now. So these are going to go back into the 375-degree oven for about another 7 to 10 minutes. This is something that you're really going to have to watch on your own. It'll be around in that time frame because it really does depend upon what kind of bread you use. If you use a lighter, all white store-bought bread, it may take a little bit of a shorter time to get crispy and brown. So you're just going to have to watch and see when yours gets crispy, but another 7 to 10 minutes should do it.
And back to our favorite moment where we test everything.
These croutons smell so good. Okay, we're going to give them a taste here. They're still nice and crunchy and hot out of the oven.
Wow.
They're so good. These are so delicious.
I have to move back because I don't want to drool.
Okay, so this is really versatile. And we were actually talking earlier amongst ourselves about all the things you can do with these croutons. And one of the things that we thought would be amazing would be to use these croutons on tomato soup, which would really turn just a basic cup of tomato soup into something really special. These would be incredible on chili.
Absolutely.
They're obviously incredible on a salad, but you can toss them in lots of things and really change whatever it is you're making into something delicious. And that can also really depend upon the kind of bread you're using when you're making a crouton. The bread, like we mentioned, that we used for this was our cheddar jalapeno bread. And in the particular batch of the bread that we had used hot jalapeno peppers. So
and I love it. I feel the burn a little bit.
These are actually pretty darn spicy, and they would make a cup of tomato soup really incredible.
They sure
so
will.
We really hope that you'll try this. It's a great way to not waste bread, and also such a superior way to eat croutons than buying the ones that are filled with junk in the grocery store. So we hope you're going to love these as much as we do.
And they're much tastier.
They are much tastier. Enjoy.
We hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've tried making these homemade croutons, make sure you leave us a comment down below to let us know what you think. The link to the blog post is also in the description of the video for reference.
And also, please join our pod, subscribe to our channel, and join us on all of our cooking adventures. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Bye for now.
Bye.